Good morning, everyone. So, today we are going to do some questions from Infosys. The written exam as conducted this year by Infosys for the upcoming batch of year 2021. Now, one thing about the Infosys written online test is it has five sections. So, sections that are included there is logical ability, mathematical ability, verbal ability, pseudocode, and followed by puzzle solving. So mathematical ability will simply give some questions based on some of the other logics of maths, how we can use them into our upgradation. That is what they're going to see. Next, if we talk about verbal ability, so verbal ability is going to be a check of your knowledge of English language, how good you are with the subject, how good you are uh, into grammars, synonyms, antonyms, maybe vocabulary questions, reading comprehensions, all those things. Next, pseudocode is going to be about your coding language, how well you can code in a particular choice of language, that is going to be checked. Logical ability, if we talk about, they're going to ask simply some questions based on logics and reasons as to see how well versed you are with your logics and decision making problem solving abilities. Next, they'll have a section of puzzle solving where they'll give some puzzles, simple puzzles that are going to be coming up in different levels. They are going to ask that. So, our concern today is to look at the logical ability section, the questions that were asked in the logical ability, how to crack them more efficiently so that we become good with our logics. We're going to look at all those questions. First question was, below is given a question followed by two statements numbered 1 and 2. Okay, this is a question based on conclusions. We have to see, let me call this as data sufficiency question. This is a data sufficiency part because I'm never concerned with finding the exact answer of that particular question. I'm just concerned with just checking that the statements that are given to me, are they sufficient to answer the given question. I don't need exact answers. I just need whether the given information that I have, is it sufficient to answer those questions. That is what my objective is, which is always given in the question itself. Like you can see here, you have to decide if these statements are sufficient to answer the questions and mark the answers accordingly. So this is what a typical question in data sufficiency looks like. They'll give a question, they'll give two statements, and then they'll have four options. So the four options is like, first option says only one of the statements alone is sufficient to answer the question, but other statement is not. So actually this means either I can answer my question using just the option A or just the first statement, or I can answer my question using just the second statement and I don't need the other statement. This is what the first option means. Next, option B states both statement 1 and 2 together are sufficient to answer the question, but neither statement alone is sufficient. Okay, this means that some information is given in first statement, some is given in second statement, and to answer that particular question, I need to use both the statements together to get the answer. Individually, they are not going to give me any answer. That is my option B. Now, option C says each statement alone is sufficient to answer the question. Now, option A and option C, these are very different. Option A states only one of the statement alone is sufficient to answer the question. That means some information is there in one, which is not there in second, and I can answer using only one. Or some is there in two, which is not there in first, and I can answer using only second. But what means by C is there is some kind of information that is there in one, and there is some kind of information that is there in two. So either using first or using second, I'm able to get my answer. It's like both the options are going to give me my answer. Both the statements are going to give me the answer. In that case, I'll have to give the answer as option C. Now, option D states both statement 1 and 2 are not sufficient to answer the question and additional information is needed. Okay, this means in this case, you have some data that is given to you, but other than that, also some more thing is needed. Maybe something is missing in the information, and using that missing something, only then I can answer, not just by the hints. In that case, I give my answer as option D. So this is what the option distribution is: A, B, C, and D. Sometimes they give one more option as E. In that case, what they do, they just expand these options, like only statement one alone is sufficient, or only statement two alone is sufficient. Rest B, C, and D, these three remain the same. Just this first statement, only one of the statement alone is sufficient, it is expanded as only statement one alone is sufficient, or only statement two alone is sufficient. This expansion they do. Other than that, B, C, and D, they remain the same. Okay, now how many visitors were there in the exhibition yesterday? I need to find how many visitors were there in the exhibition yesterday. First statement, every entry pass holder can take up to three persons with him. Okay, so if you have an entry pass, you can take up to three people with him. This is given to me with the first statement. So now I realize that using just the first statement, I cannot answer. I need to look at the second statement also. Second statement says in total 243 passes was sold yesterday. Okay. Now, second is telling me that in total 243 passes were sold yesterday. Okay. Now, individually, I don't have any idea as to how many people are there. Let's try to combine it. So, with this combination, I know that 243 passes were sold, and on one pass, maximum three people can go. Now, I know 243 are sold and on one pass, maximum three people can do. But I don't know that who is taking how many people with him. It is possible that uh, maybe one person went alone, or one person took two people with him, one person took three people. So that variation I do not know. I know how many passes were sold. I also know that each person is allowed to take three persons with him, but I don't know who is taking how many people. So exact number of people cannot be determined just by using these two statements. I need something extra. So my answer becomes option D, that is statement 1 and 2 alone are not sufficient to answer the question, and additional data is needed to solve the problem. My answer becomes option D. Next. Okay, another very important part of reasoning is blood relations, and when they combine blood relations with maths, it becomes very interesting question. Okay, so first it is R1S means R is the father of S. R3S means S is the sister of R. S is the sister of R. So S is the sister of R means S becomes female. Gender of R right now with this is not specified, but I know R is the father of S. That means R is male. Okay, now R5S means R is the brother of S. Okay, R becomes the brother of S. Now, R7S means S is the husband of R. So, one thing we need to observe is in one kind of statement, in these alternate statements, R is coming first. So, relation with respect to R is given. In the next two statements, relation with respect to S is given. This needs to be taken into consideration very carefully. Now, F3Z7A1K, this is said to be true, then which of the following relations can also be false? Okay, now if this thing is true, which of the following is said to be false? So F3Z, Z7A, A1K, these are all true. What can be false? Okay, now let's look at all these things carefully. Z7A. Z7A means S is husband of R. That means A is husband of Z. A is husband of Z. This is true. So this cannot be false. A is not my answer. Z is mother of K. With respect to K, let's see this. A1K. A1K means R is father of S. That means A is father of S. Now, if A is father of S and A is husband of Z, that means Z is husband of K. Z is, sorry, mother of K. This is also true. So this cannot be false. Okay, now K is son of A. Now, if A1K means R is father of K, obviously K has to be either son or father, either son or daughter. Now, A is father of K. A1K means A is father of K. This is true. But one thing that I don't know here is from here also I know that R is father of S. That means R is male, but I don't know the gender of S. Similarly, here I don't know the gender of K. So gender of K is not specified. Which means A is father of K is true, but K is son of A. This is not true. K can also be daughter of A. In that case, also A is father of K would hold true. So the statement that is false is C. My answer is option C. I have put a take here that A is father of K. I just wanted to mean that A is father of K. This is a true statement. So the statement that is false is K is son of A. Now, next. For the following question, choose the answer that best completes the comparison. Okay, so this is a question that is based on analogy. Analogy means relation. So relation between different words we had to find out and we have to answer accordingly. Okay, botany, I know botany is study of plants. So thermology, thermo means heat, heat or something related to temperature. So actually thermology is study of heat. It's not study of various thermometers. Thermo means heat or something related to temperature. So thermology is study of heat. Answer is option B. Next, below are given statements followed by two conclusions. Take the statement to be true even if they contradict commonly known facts and determine the conclusion or conclusions that follow from the statement. Okay, now this is a very important part of reasoning. What they do is they give some statements and they derive some conclusion out of that. Out of the conclusion that are derived, I need to know that which of the conclusions are true based on the information that is given. So I need not be careful about the known facts. I need not worry that the known facts are contradicted by that. No, that is not the concern. The concern of this question is based on the following statements, which of the conclusions are going to be true. Okay. First statement is lawyers marry only fair girls. Okay. First statement is lawyers marry only fair girls. And Lisa is very fair. Okay, so lawyers marry fair girls, Lisa is very fair. These are the two statements. Conclusion is Lisa might be married to a lawyer. This is my first conclusion. Next conclusion is Lisa will definitely be married to a lawyer. This is my second conclusion. Okay, so now, which of the conclusions would follow up? Okay, so this is my conclusion number one. This is my conclusion number two. So Lisa might be married to a lawyer. So the condition to get married to a lawyer is you should be fair according to the question. Lisa might be married to a lawyer. This seems somewhat correct. Lisa will definitely be married to a lawyer. This is not right because just being fair does not mean you will get married to a lawyer. So only conclusion one follows that Lisa is fair. There are chances that she might get married to a lawyer. My answer becomes option D. Next. Okay, again. Below is given a question followed by two statements numbered 1 and 2. The question may or may not be answered with the help of these statements. You have to decide if these statements are sufficient to answer the question. Again, a question based on data sufficiency. My task is not to answer the question correctly, but to find whether the given statements are this sufficient to answer my question. This is what I have to find out. Okay, first statement is I need to find is x greater than y. Okay, first statement is 0 is less than x less than 0.75. So range of x is given to me. Next, 0.25 less than y less than 10. Okay, now I need to find is x greater than y. So just by using the statement of 1 alone or just by using the statement 2 alone, I will not get any answer. Okay. So, and let's look at the options. What kind of options are given to me? So, option A is only one of the statement alone is sufficient to answer the question, but other statement is not. So, this means either one alone is giving me the answer or either two alone is giving me the answer. This is not the case. I need to have some combination. So, A cannot be my answer. So, both statements 1 and 2 together are sufficient to answer the question, but neither statement alone. Okay, this is what I have been saying only. Alone, I cannot get the answer. I need to do the combination. Now, look at C. C says each statement alone is sufficient to answer the question, which is not the case here. Alone, I cannot get any answer. And statement 1 and 2 together are not sufficient to answer the question asked, and additional data is required to do the problem solving. Now, when I look at the question 0 less than x less than 0.75 and 0.25 less than y less than 10, if I pick up values of x and y from this particular range and I combine them, then only I'll be able to say that is x greater than y or is x less than y. If I pick up some values from here, let's say x I have picked up 0.5 and y I picked up 9. So now when I combine both the statements, so now when I have used both the statements, I can say that no, x is less than y, it is not greater than y. How did I get to the answer? Combined both the statements. So when I'm combining both the statements, I'm getting to the answer. Some places it can be greater than y, some places it is less than y. That is obtained by combination of the two statements. My answer is option B. Next. Okay. Again, a question based on statement and assumption is given to us. So for the given statement, two assumptions are given. Okay, we can see two assumptions are there. Read the statement and assumptions carefully and choose the correct option. Answer from the given options. Okay, now statement given is, despite several complaints, my internet connection is not working properly. Okay, a line from a customer's email to the broadband service provider. Okay, so there is a customer who has complained. This is a complaint. He had complained to the broadband service provider that he has done so many times, he has reminded the people, but his internet is still not working properly. Okay, now assumption is every customer has the right to receive stable internet from the service provider. Okay, now the customer's complaint will be taken into consideration, the problem will be solved. Now here when you look at the options, it is with respect to weak and strong. This means that with respect to the assumptions that are given and the statement that I have, which of the assumption is a weak assumption or which of the assumption is a strong assumption, that is what we have to do. Like which is strongly proving my point or which is just weak to give a idea about the statement, that is what we are talking about. Okay, now both statement 1 and 2 are weak. No, this is not the case. The person is complaining again and again and he is not getting proper internet connectivity. These two assumptions that are given, every customer has the right to receive stable internet from the service provider. This seems right because if I'm paying up, I need to have proper connectivity also. So statement 1 or assumption 1 is not a weak assumption. So this option that both statement 1 and 2 are weak, this is wrong. Okay, now only statement 1 is strong. Okay, statement one is a strong statement. We have already said because if I'm paying up for my internet, I need to have a strong connection. And if I am complaining again and again, you need to attend to those complaints also. So, statement one is strong. Okay, both assumption one and two are strong. Okay, let's look at statement assumption two. Assumption two is customers' complaint will be taken into consideration and problem will be resolved. But when you look at the statement, it is saying that despite several complaints, that means the person was complaining again and again, but still his problems were not solved. So, this second assumption, it's actually a weak assumption, it is not a strong assumption. So, this answer is also wrong, that both assumption 1 and 2 are strong. This is wrong. Only assumption 2 is strong. Right now, we said assumption 2 is a weak one. So, my answer becomes option B. Only first assumption is strong. Next, again a question based on statements and conclusions. Let's try to see which of the statements will follow up. Okay, statement is some frees are discounts. Next, some lesser discounts. Next, or lesser profits. Okay, these are the statements. We can do this using a Venn diagram also. Let's try to solve this using a Venn diagram. Okay, some frees are discount, so this is freeze and this is discount. Some frees are discount. Okay, now some less are also discount, so I'm going to do it here that some less are also discounts. Now it could also happen this way, that freeze, discount, and less. Some less also becomes discount. In that case, some less also becomes free. But I'm going not going for the case where everything is overlapping. Let's look it in this way, that some less are also discounts. Okay, now all less are profits. So all less becomes profit. Now this is okay. Conclusion follows is some profits are free, some profits are free. Okay, if we look at this case also, some profits are free. This is a possible, and some profits are discount, some profit or discount, this is also following up. So actually two Venn diagrams are possible for the same arrangement. Either it is free discount logic intertwined or free discount logic in a straight line. In both the cases, some discounts are free. This is followed up from the first set of Venn diagram. Some profits are discount. This is followed up from the second set of Venn diagram. Both of them are following. That means both conclusion 1 and 2 follow up. My answer is option C. Both of them follow up. Next, find the missing term in the given series: 20, 70, 240, 540, 900, question mark, 2240 and 3240. Okay. First step that we usually do, and as soon as we have a problem, is we try to check for the difference. We try to check for what the difference is between the numbers. Here the difference is 70. Next difference is 150. Next it is 260. Next it is 400. Now here was the question mark. So I don't know what the difference is going to be. There will be some difference. Now, but here the difference is not making any sense. 70 and 50, it's 80 digits apart, then it is 110 digits apart, then it's 140 digits apart. It is not making any sense. So what I do is I try to take difference of difference, because lot many times it happens that the difference of difference they comes out to be either in some AP, GP or something of that sort. So let's take difference of difference. 70, 80, 150, difference is 180. Now if I take this difference, this is 110, here it's 140, and somewhere you can see that this will go on in that particular way only. Now 80 and 110 difference is 30. 140, 110 differences again 30. So the differences here they come out to be in AP. Next difference accordingly will be equal to 140 plus 30, that is 170. So my next difference comes out to be 170, which means whatever the number is here, the number and difference between 400 is going out to be 170. So what the number is, or let's say what the difference between 900 and the next number is, it is 400 plus 170, that is 570. So actually my number is whatever the number might be here, between this question mark and between this 900 there's a difference of 570. So my number or the missing term becomes 900 plus 570, that is 1470. My answer becomes option D, 1470. Now you can check 1470 to 2240. Whatever the difference would be, that difference would be in AP. My answer is D, 1470. Now, which of the given words can be formed using the letters of the below set? What can I form using this below set? And I have to be careful that each letter has to be used once. Okay, now clone. Can I form clone? I don't have a C here, so clone cannot be formed. Now beef. B, I have E, but I don't have F. Beef also cannot be formed. Can I form moist? Moist is MOIST. All right, moist is being formed. Leaf. Again, I didn't have a F, so I can't form a leaf. My answer becomes C, moist. Next. Okay, which of the following question or questions with the symbols given to me are used with different meanings are shown? So we have some letters and we have some symbols, and what their meaning that is given to us in the statement already. Now assuming in the following question the given statements are said to be true. Okay, which of the following conclusions given below are definitely true, and give your answers accordingly. Now this is again a case of saying that out of the given statements we have drawn some conclusions, which of the conclusion is going to be true. This is again a question of statement and conclusion, but a little difference is there because statements are mentioned in forms of symbols. So what we do is we try to write down what those symbols mean. So M square bracket O actually means M is greater than O, because C square bracket D means C is greater than D. 0 triangular brackets N means C is neither smaller than nor greater than D. Okay, if it is neither smaller than nor greater than D, that means it is equal to D. So it actually becomes O is equals to N. And N circular brackets P. So N circular brackets P means C is smaller than D, that is N is smaller than P. So what finally my answer comes out is M is greater than O is equals to N is greater than P. So if I do this, let's do one more step. M is greater than O and O is equals to N. That means M is greater than N also. But N is less than B. And I can write N is less than P in this particular way. So relation is M is greater than N and N is less than P. Now, conclusion is also given to me in forms of symbols. So let's go for the symbols. P and open brackets N. Open bracket means P is neither greater than nor equal to, that means it is less than. So this becomes P less than N. Okay, neither greater than nor equal to means it is going to be less. So P less than N. This is totally false because right now only we have seen that P is greater than N. So first statement becomes false. Okay, now First is not going to be my answer. M curly bracket O. What does curly bracket means? Curly bracket means M is neither, it is neither smaller than nor equal to. Neither smaller than nor equal to means it is greater than that. So M greater than O. Now see the conclusion that we had previously. M greater than O. First conclusion said M is greater than O. First statement was M greater than O. Here second conclusion is M greater than O. That means second conclusion is true. So my answer from here is first conclusion is not following, second is following. Let's see the option. So option D, only conclusion 2 follows is my answer. My answer becomes D.